Today I'm going to be talking about The Martian, a film directed by Ridley Scott about an astronaut presumed dead and left on Mars while his crew travel back to Earth. Once it's found out he is alive, he needs to figure out a way to survive on a harsh planet long enough so that NASA can send a rescue mission. I think that Matt Damon did a really good performance of playing Mark Watney, a man who has been abandoned a minimum of 33.9 million miles from Earth. He manages to make what would be a scared, depressed and lonely man have hope and charisma, even adding some humour to the film. He does a great job of playing all these different emotional states, which makes for a captivating and believable performance. I really enjoyed Matt Damon's performance in the Bourne films, in which he plays Jason Bourne, a more serious character who is a former CIA agent with amnesia, but seeing him in The Martian, it shows how diverse of an actor he really is. I think the cinematography, that is a mix of shots from Earth and computer-generated scenes edited together to represent what Mars would look like, also goes a long way to make the film seem somewhat realistic, with its stunning shots of large mountains and rocky deserts, along with a rustic terracotta colour grade and masterful use of VFX to replace the pale blue sky of Earth with a dull and murky brown one of Mars, not only creates a unique and eerie feeling to the film that links back to the terrifying thought of being trapped on what would be a sterile planet alone, but also fits perfectly to how we would imagine Mars. The camera angles used when Mark Watney talks to the cameras through the movie that are mounted on things like the Habitat, rover and his personal diary log help us connect with him in a way that I feel we otherwise wouldn't have. These cameras and diary logs also allow the script to unload technical facts in an entertaining and somewhat sarcastic way. Although the film does get a lot of technical aspects right, like the time delay between sending a message to Earth and receiving one back, it also has a few things wrong with it. For example, Mars is known to have storms, but none as strong as the inciting incident, which the whole film links back to. Although it wouldn't have been as dramatic as a giant dust storm with shrapnel flying everywhere, I think the team could have come up with a more realistic way to leave Mark stranded on Mars. One other issue I have with the film is that once you're halfway through, you can guess the direction it's going in, but this is again where the cinematography and the great acting of all the cast really saves the film. Something else I found refreshing in the plot is that there are no bad guys, even though they have held a memorial for him. They could have easily made it so that someone wants to leave him though, but this is not the direction the film is going in, and everyone wants to get him back. They just argue about what the best way of doing so would be. I really believe that Ridley Scott, Matt Damon and all the other cast and crew who worked on this project created something brilliant, with tense, humorous and very emotional scenes throughout the whole movie, which really left me immersed from the start to finish. It really is a must-watch film. The use of tension made by the constant need for Mark Watney to come up with solutions for the countless tasks that crop up constantly keep me engaged, making me wonder how is he going to come up with the solution for his next problem. The film at times feels somewhat inspired by Castaway, a similar film about a man who gets stranded on an island alone and must survive while waiting to be rescued. I also think it's similar to a lot of films in its genre, such as Moon, directed by Duncan Jones, being another film about a man starved from human interaction and suffering with communication malfunctions, and Gravity, directed by Alfonso Cuarón, which has great special effects and dramatic scenes but didn't offer as much in the way of character development. I have always enjoyed the films of the sci-fi genre, so I expected to like The Martian, but it exceeded my expectations with its immersive narrative, surprisingly fitting music that accompanied what is going on in the narrative at the time, along with its intense scenes and stunning cinematography made possible due to the vision of director Ridley Scott and cinematographer Dariusz Wolski, seamlessly working together once again to create something incredible.